Kickstarter project, and Eric's going to explain what we got here and what we could expect in 2015.
How you doing? Hi, everybody. This is our Mythic Legions line. We currently have this up on Kickstarter. We started it this past Monday, so we're about 5 days in right now. We're a little over halfway to the goal at this point. Of course, we want to get past the goal because we've got some killer stretch goals going on. We've got orcs and all kinds of crazy characters that we got to get to. So it's, anything that we can do to get people on board and backing right now, we would appreciate it because we just want to make these figures. And so I'm going to give you a quick run through of what we got back here, and there's a lot to go through. But basically, these are going to be 6-inch scaled figures. So the guys like the knights are going to come in right around 6.5 inches. This figure here is this was just a quick scan down that we did to get an actual size of what the final product was going to be. So that's a good representation of what the final product is. All of these prototypes are a little bit oversized. They're more, they're a little closer to 8 inches. And what we wanted to do with this line, it's a very open world fantasy line. We felt like there just wasn't really anything out there right now that just had this open-ended, line that you could jump into. And if you're into dwarves, if you were into orcs, skeletons, vampires, knights, there's something here, hopefully, for everybody. And so if you take a look here, we've got a couple of our skeleton figures here. That this one up here is Tibius. He's in the kind of the main assortment. One of the things that we've got with the line is that we've got a main assortment, and that we know people love to army build. Especially, we're talking about armies and knights and characters like that here. So we wanted an army building element. So this is our basic skeleton. This is our golden skeleton. And this is our silver dwarf. This is our silver knight. These 4 particular characters, these are our army builder characters. And so they have less paint. They're a little bit more of a basic setup for the figures. Each one of these figures will come with 3 accessories. Some of them aren't showing it here. And average price on these figures is very similar to our past releases. It's around $30 base price for the figures. The army builders come in at a base price. I believe they're coming in closer to 15 pre-shipping. It's between 15 and 16 pre-shipping. So we wanted to set up the army builders where they're more affordable. And we're also doing the army builders in 6-packs, where the prices drop closer to $14 a piece if you get the 6-pack. So, we're really competing with mass market retail figures. You're almost getting into 3 3/4 inch figure prices with some of these army builders. But so like I said, we've got a couple of skeleton figures here. The front row, we're showing a couple of the dwarf figures. This is a good example of what some of our basic knights are coming in at. We got Atlas is a more of a barbarian type character. We've got Carpathius is a vampire character, which that's been a very popular element in the line. And Otho and Attila, they're knights as well, but they're a little bit more of our brutal warrior class knights. They've got the heavier weapons, and they're a little bit more grizzled and war torn. We'll come back to this section in the center here in a minute, and then when we get over here, this is more of the figures that we have up on Kickstarter right now. And so we've got 3 more dwarves here. This bronze dwarf in the center is again showing what one of the army builder figures looks like. Same thing over here with the golden knight, who's kind of hidden back there. But we've also got over here, we got Urku and Urzak, which are showing off what the orc faction looks like in this, which after we put up the Kickstarter, I mean, we've gotten such a tremendous response on the orc figures, which are currently stretch goals. So we're going to have to see if we can find a way to get the orcs into the Kickstarter sooner. And, you know, we've got some of like our really more our paladin type knights where there's, you know, the very, very bright deco and, you know, very, very heroic characters. And then Gorgo is our, you know, kind of dark knight character. Not to be confused with the Dark Knight Batman. And so we've got 16 figures in the regular assortment, and then we've got 8 different army builders available currently, and then we're going to be opening up stretch goals for some of the really crazy characters as the Kickstarter goes on. And then here in the center, our previous Kickstarter was the Gothotropolis Ravens, which some of these figures hanging on the cage were from that line, and that Kickstarter was turned out to be a runaway success. We never knew that birds could potentially be so popular, but folks loved them, and I think part of the reason that it did so well is it went beyond just action figure collectors. There's a lot of people who were just bird enthusiasts, or that had loved their state bird, or their favorite sports team bird, or their high school alma mater's bird. So there's a lot of popularity there, and we've sold through everything on our first wave. So now we've come back. We're going to do a second wave of birds. And here we've got the Blue Phoenix, Malatar the Duck, which is a take on something, kind of a joke that was going on our forums that became so popular that in the first wave we had to do Minotaur the Duck. And so this is his repaint, which is Malatar the Duck. And back here we have Aetheron, who is a character from Mythic Legions. So with this second series, we're taking these birds, we're combining them into Mythic Legions. So this starts to become a cohesive universe. And we're still not 100% sure how the release is going to go on the birds. They're either going to be a straight pre-sale in the coming months, or there's also been some requests to actually fold these birds right into the current Mythic Legions Kickstarter. So we're looking in to see what the possibilities of that are, and you know how that works. But if we could do that, that would get the birds out much quicker to all of our fans. And so, you know, again, this is Mythic Legions. This is our big push here. This is you know, what we're going to be working on through 2015, and you know, we've got plans well beyond this where we want to get into female characters, oversized figures, you know, horses, dragons, anything and everything fantasy. But you know, we need your help on the Kickstarter so we can get this first round funded and you know, move on to bigger and better things.
Where would everybody be able to purchase these? Strictly on you guys' site, or are we looking at possible retail options?
You know, as of right now, of course, you know, the Kickstarter is kind of like a giant pre-order, so that'll be the first spot that anything's going to be available. Then we primarily sell off of our online store, which is storehorseman.com. They'll definitely be available. It'll be after every single Kickstarter, you know, backer has had their pledge fulfilled. Then we would open it up on our store, and then yeah, I mean, this is our first toy fair, so we're here seeing you know, if we could go into retail or if it could go into specialty shops, and so we're kind of feeling that out. So we're not 100% sure yet, but hopefully you will see it in a little bit wider release than what we've done in the past.
I definitely look forward to seeing these characters and your future characters. Everybody loves your work. I know I definitely love you guys' work. The articulation, the detail, the paint, the sculpting, everything is amazing. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking out the Four Horsemen and Ultimate Toy Collector. Look forward to more videos from Toy Fair 2015. In the meantime, happy hunting.